Hi, this is Jason Watts, and I'll be presenting the QuickDef app, a vocabulary building app for the Career Foundries UX Fundamentals 1.7. So here we go. So this QuickDef app will have libraries, customized libraries, and quizzes and games to help students in the classroom and students in life. It should be kind of a mix of work and play. Nobody wants just a work, but you got to do it. So throw a little play in there, and it makes for a well-rounded app. So when I started this, we started with user research, and from that I interviewed a few people and came up with a persona to use to define who this app is for. And to that, I came up with Stuart. Now, Stuart is a very busy guy, and he's always on his phone. And he is the person that we have designed this app for. So Stuart's story is that he's 29, he's married, he doesn't have any children yet, but he wants to. He's living in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He has a decent job as a paralegal, but his first love is English, and so he's deciding whether or not he has the time to go back to get a graduate degree in English for teaching and writing. That said, he has a very active lifestyle. He's working all the time, he does travel, he's coaching softball. Even when he's not doing anything, he has his phone in his hand, which makes him a perfect candidate for an app. Um, so, yes, so his main concern is that he doesn't have enough time to go back to school. His needs and goals are that he wants to switch careers. He wants to teach and write in English, but he has to manage work and life and the time commitments that would, make for that. So the challenges here are being able to use his downtime effectively, and an app should be able to do that for him. It's always with him, and it would have access to all the things that he would need in order to get his studies done while he's at work or while he's at lunch or anywhere in between. So, from that user persona, I created a prototype using low fidelity wireframes. Now, this prototype for an app is its main focus is to study vocabulary and build your vocabulary, but it does have some fun features with it, such as the word of the day on the home screen. As you can see, Stuart is logged in. He has a word of the day to greet him. Whether or not he saves that to a library for his own personal use is up to him. But that said, he does have a customized library feature that say a class, a group, or a professor could even say, hey, why don't you use this list I've made of vocabulary terms in this class, and you can have all the time to study this using this app. The other features is that they have flashcards, maybe multiple choice quizzes, and a community that you can customize as well to perhaps share vocabulary lists or talk with other classmates or people that you wish to share vocabulary interest with. So one of the main tasks that I focused on this wireframe is creating a custom library. So when you do that, you can download, theoretically anyway, you can download published dictionaries and you type in a word in the QuickDef search bar up at top, and from there you can choose your definition that you want to save, and you can save it to your own customized library. And that library you can either have shared with your friends or classmates, or it can just be for your personal use. Now, from there, you can use that same customized library to create flashcard quizzes for yourself. And that can also be a timed thing, maybe to give yourself a challenge to see how well you know a word. And you can also play it with a study group or some friends and kind of quiz each other. So we've developed this prototype. The next thing to do is to test it. And this is crucial. Usability testing is going to let us know whether or not our idea for an app is actually viable, if it works, or if we need to make some changes to make it more user friendly. So in this, I interviewed 4 people. I gave them the prototype, and I think it was very easy. Like they all did the tasks extremely well, and I was surprised at how I didn't have any real big issues. They noticed a couple of cosmetic things, but for the most part, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. So I learned a little bit more about my process than, say, the user experience, because, well, here we'll cut to the next scene. So, the importance of proper scenario tasks. So, if you create a scenario task, it's more important to let them discover the app on their own, give them a scenario in which they need to accomplish a task and get out of their way. So, as you can see in the, say, the lesson or scenario task 1, I actually told them what to do or how to do it. So that almost negates the purpose of the usability testing. Also, in, say, example of scenario task 3, I told them, use the exam 1 library instead of saying, why don't you use your word in the flashcards? And so I inadvertently learned a little bit more about how to approach scenario tasks and usability testing than, say, learning more about how they would perhaps use the wireframe. But hey, it was a learning experience. So that said, how are we going to fix this and make this a proper app? The next steps. The next steps are, of course, fix the wireframes issues, which were pretty cosmetic that they noticed. But one of the things that I noticed along the way, and they didn't actually mention this in the usability testing, I don't think they were thinking about it, but we're talking about vocabulary, so we should get the terms correct, I think, on the app. Libraries on the tab, let me see if I can go back. On the bottom tab there, it says libraries. I think it really should be just called library, and then once you go into that, then you can choose from dictionaries that are actually published, or you can create your own list, which would just be a list of terms or words that you are creating. I should add, because I forgot to mention this, that the idea behind this app is that you can download dictionaries for any knowledge base. So if you're going to go into the legal system or the medical field, even realty or some sort of trade, there's going to be a set of terms and definitions that you're going to need to learn for that specific knowledge base. And that would be the idea behind this app, is that you could use it for any such thing. So that said, that is one thing, that a note that I would like to fix would just to be getting those terms correct, library and dictionary. The main thing that I have learned from this and that I would need to fix would be to change the scenario tasks to allow for a more objective and thus effective usability testing. So from there, I would develop a low fidelity wireframe for all of the features and redo the usability testing to test those app features, along with some better worded scenario tasks, of course. So run the usability test, make the corrections needed, and lastly, add some UI. I'm not going to say I'm the best at UI, but somebody else is, so we could add that in and make it look all pretty. So what is the moral to this? The moral is that Stuart is in good hands with this app. With some minor tweaks and further usability testing, QuickDef can turn into a well-rounded vocabulary building app. I truly believe that, actually. And I have learned that low fidelity is truly important. You do not want to waste a lot of resources and energy on something that, in the end, you find a few minor mistakes is going to set you back a lot. So, that said, I hope you have enjoyed the presentation, and I look forward to further learning about UX design. Thank you.